So in Jennifer and I's pre-work, before we actually meet with a client in person, we work with three different tools. One of them is Life 7F's long form, which you've already heard me share. The other is Five Love Languages by Dr. Gary Chapman. Incredible stuff. And the last one that we have clients work on before we meet for the first time is Leading from Your Strengths, and the marriage version of that. So if you're working with a couple or your clients have people that are married inside their family, the Marriage Insights tool. They are very similar in their scoring, but they are different in some of their language and application. So you end up with the same data from a macro standpoint, but from a micro standpoint, there's some nuances. And what is crazy exciting, I mean, I get so excited about this tool. And I'm going to hold this up in a way that the camera can't see it. But this is a card from a family that we've worked with. There are 10 of them. All of them have different love languages, different scoring in Life 7Fs. And when you talk about this next tool, which is Marriage Insights and Leading from Your Strengths, it's a 4-quadrant personality profile. And we have a custom version of it. And the reason why we have a custom version of it is, A, we've used it for 20-some years, even in our marriage and family work. And B, we like to pull in Dr. John Trent's intellectual property, and we always give him credit for it, which is how he identifies the 4 personality profiles. And it is through animals. It is the lion, the otter, the golden retriever, and the beaver. And John, for years and still today, I think, speaks on this topic, and it just resonates with people for a reason, that we can all picture these animals in our mind the moment we hear them. And for us, the reason we've stayed with it is he also authored a book that has the same animal profiles for young people. So our work is multi-generational. So what we try to do is find tools that speak to the largest audience inside our age demographics of the families we work with. So I'm going to run through the Leading from Your Strengths, Marriage Insights, and the 4 personality profiles that are represented by the 4 animal, if you will, which are lion, otter, golden retriever, beaver. So first of all is the lion. And I think everybody knows that the lion is the king of the jungle. The lion has a big roar. And just to be transparent, I'm 100% lion. So us lions get judged because we're the ones that make quick decisions. We can be loud. We can be stubborn. But at the same time, we tend to lead really well because we are confident in the decisions that we're making. And so if you just think of that lion and think of those people in your life that make those quick decisions, are stubborn, can have their voice escalate real quickly, those are the lions. And they're not bad people. I'm one of them, right? But the second one then in line is the otter. And it's the playful otter. If you Google an otter, you'll see that they swim on their back and they play and they even smile. In fact, there's a place we go to in Alaska called Homer, Alaska, that on the very end of that little peninsula, otters are moving all over the place. And we got pictures of them just playing. If there's one of them, it's a party. If there's 2 of them, it's a big party. But it's that person in your life that loves people, loves to laugh, loves to have fun. If just one other person is involved in their world, they're having a party. So it doesn't take volume, it just takes one other person. So fun-loving, very sociable, that is the otter. So the question I have is, who are the otters in your life? Just like who are the lions in your life? Then the third personality profile is the golden retriever. So if you think of that golden retriever that maybe you have at home, very loyal, great around kids, caring. When you ask, or when a golden retriever personality asks you how they're doing, they don't want to hear fine. They want to actually hear, how are you doing? And that is just, when you think visually of that golden retriever, that's that personality. And then you've got the last one is the beaver. Now this person is all about the details. It's all about the spreadsheets. It's all about being organized. If you walk in their office, everything is organized and put away. You walk into an otter's office and everything's everywhere, but they do happen to know where everything is. But that beaver are your engineers. They're your accountants. Often they're your attorneys. Anything that has to do with things that have to be structured and detailed, that's that beaver personality. And when I held up this card earlier, if you think of having 10 people in your family or in your workplace, you're going to have a combination of all these 4 personalities. So I am a 100% lion and about a 75% otter. And my golden retriever is almost non-existent. Don't judge me, please. And then my beaver is about a 45. So I can handle the details if you want to, like a beaver. But I'm more of that leader. Let's charge the hill, but let's charge the hill and have fun at the same time. So that's that lion otter personality. And what is so unique and frankly so powerful about this assessment is that it gives you your natural tendencies and your adaptive. So if I'm a natural 100 lion, but my adaptive is a 50, there's a 50-point delta of me operating outside of how I'm hardwired. And the question has to be asked, what is going on in Eric's life that has him down 50 points? And what the adaptive score is how the pressures of life are impacting you. And this is where all the deep, sometimes very serious conversations come with our clients. And the adaptive, if you're underperforming, you're typically very frustrated. So if it's the 100 Eric as a lion and I'm operating at a 50, I'm very frustrated because I'm not operating at that 100. If it's the reverse, if I'm a 50 lion and I'm operating at a 90, I'm exhausted because it takes so much energy to go up in my personality, in my natural personality. So when you think of family and you think about family members being frustrated, it's kind of like Good to Great, the book by Collins. It's like, it's one thing to get all the right people in the bus. It's a whole nother thing to get them in the right seat. And what happens, even in family dynamics, let alone the workplace, is that we hire somebody based on a job description and a resume, but we don't actually understand who they are. And that can be the game changer in having a successful family life and or a successful business relationship. And so we always lead right out. We build these charts out for our families. If we were doing it with this family right here, we'd have 10 people. We'd have their numbers on a chart, and we'd have the natural and adaptive. We'd show the difference between their natural adaptives. And as a group, and this is so much fun, having these next gens share with their family why they feel like they're 30 points above or below their natural tendencies in this personality profile space. And on the business side, it's like golden nuggets for an HR department or a direct report to know this about you. So leading from your strengths and or marriage insights is a 4-quadrant personality profile. We've chosen to leverage Dr. John Trent's intellectual property in identifying the 4 quadrants through animals: the lion, the otter, the golden retriever, and beaver. And here's what's so fascinating. In our quest to have our families learn a new language as they're working with us, all of a sudden, and I'm going to stereotype the dad, the daughter will go, "Oh, well, that's just dad being a lion. Don't worry about that." Or, mom, she's that golden retriever. She cares about everything. Or, my older brother, he's wanting, a detailed agenda just to have a family conversation because he's the beaver of the bunch. And so, or my little sister Susie, she's always wanting to throw a party. That's the otter in her. So what it does is it gives your family a language in which to understand people's personalities. And when you understand who's in the room, you can actually be curious for the first time because you know who they are and you're wanting to learn more about them. If you don't have a language to put something through or a context in which to reference, how are you supposed to know anybody? And through this tool, we've just seen families completely change because they actually know who is in the room. And if you don't know who's in the room, how do you really build a resilient family? So, 4-quadrant, leading from your strengths, marriage insights, lion, otter, golden retriever, beaver, adaptive and natural scoring will absolutely change your life.